What is up, everybody? My name is Hyken, and this is the Epomaker SK61. Really quick before we get started here, I do just need to say that Epomaker did send this out to review. However, you know that that's not going to affect my opinion at all. I'm still keeping it honest with you. Also, if you want to get a cool t-shirt like the one that I'm wearing here, check out the merch link down in the description below. All proceeds for that go to support the channel. Also, I'll be doing a t-shirt giveaway during a 12-hour stream that I'm going to be doing once we hit 2K subs. So make sure that you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss that. Normally, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at about noonish West Coast time. We play Apex Legends, unbox some products, and stuff like that. It's a great time, so make sure you're there. Alright, let's get into it. This is a 60% keyboard featuring Gateron Optical switches. The board I have is rocking the Gateron Optical Red switches. There's a version of this keyboard with Bluetooth coming in at $75, but if you don't want the Bluetooth, that'll shave $10 off the price, knocking it down to $65. I have the version of it without the Bluetooth, so I will not be reviewing the Bluetooth in this review, as my keyboard doesn't have it. For switch options, you get black, red, brown, and blue, again, all Gateron Optical. This keyboard is also hot swappable with all other Gateron Optical switches, so if you get your hands on like some Gateron Optical Yellows, for instance, and you want to try those out, you can put them in this keyboard, no problem. You also get 3 options for keycaps. There's a dark gray, there is the white and light gray like what I have, and there's also a white and pink option. Also, just to clear this up right off the bat, this keyboard is manufactured by a company named Skylung. Their company is the one that's on the box. However, Epomaker takes their keycaps and makes some other modifications to this keyboard to make it their own, so this keyboard configuration is unique. In the box, you get the keyboard, a detachable USB Type-C cable, a keycap puller, a key switch puller, Mac-specific keycaps, and a manual. First off, we're going to talk about these switches. These are absolutely buttery smooth. I hadn't used good linear switches before this. I believe I'd only used the Otemu Reds on the RK71, and when you compare those Otemu Reds to these Gateron Optical Reds, the Gateron Optical Reds are the obvious winner. It's not even close. Optical switches use a laser to actuate instead of a physical component, so it definitely makes sense that these are a lot smoother. Really, I think that the only way that these could get better was if you opened up the switches and lubed them, and that's what I plan on doing anyways, but really these can't get much better. These are an awesome linear switch. These red switches perform best for gaming. Not my favorite for typing, but definitely serviceable, I would say. If you want a little bit better of a typing experience while still maintaining a really great linear gaming experience, definitely check out the black switches. They're a little bit heavier than red switches, which will make them a little bit easier to type on. As far as the stabilizers go, they are not great. The backspace, right shift, left shift, they're all pretty loud and rattly, and the spacebar it's really noisy. I'm just going to go ahead and roll a sound test for it right now. We'll talk about this more on the other side. Yeah, I mean, outside of the stabilizers, this is a really fantastic typing and gaming experience, but the spacebar is like the most used key on a keyboard, so having the stabilizers in the condition that they are is kind of a bummer. I know I'm a heavy-handed typer, I get comments about it all the time, thank you for reminding me, but even if you're a light-handed typer, you are still going to be able to feel this spacebar. I did find that putting a little piece of scotch tape on top of each of the spacebar stabilizers did help a little bit with the overall feeling of it. However, it is still loud and rattly, so I'm not even going to bother rolling a second sound test because it sounds almost identical. However, the feeling and the sensation of pressing down the spacebar does feel a little bit better with the tape mod. It took me like 5 minutes to do, and it's with common household items, so I would suggest doing it just cut a little square of Scotch tape, put it on top of the spacebar stabilizer, and then just put the spacebar back on. It's that easy. And again, that doesn't really help too much with the noise, but it will help make the spacebar feel a little bit better. And I think that I'm definitely noticing these bad stabilizers more because I'm using a linear switch. If you're getting a clicky switch or a tactile switch, you may not notice the stabilizers as much, at least that's my experience. These keycaps are PBT and the lettering is all done with dye sublimation, so the lettering is never going to fade while you're using these keycaps. The keyboard also features a white metal backplate, so you get a lot of really good typing noise and typing sensation when these keycaps bottom out. It's awesome. The font is also really clean and professional. I am a huge fan of this. I think that this keyboard would look great in an office if you were to turn off all the RGB. It definitely has that kind of professional look to it. These aren't shine-through keycaps like you do see on a lot of gaming keyboards. However, the RGB is still super vibrant because of the white backplate. The RGB does bleed through the plastic a little bit on the top part of the top face of the keycap where all the lettering is, but that never really bothered me. It may bother some of you, so I did feel like this was worth mentioning. They also have a bit of a matte texture, which feels really nice to type on and game with. Alternatively, if you don't like these keycaps for whatever reason, you can swap them out, no problem. These are all standard Cherry compatible keycaps. Overall build quality here feels really great. The keyboard has a little bit of heft to it thanks to the metal backplate, and the 4 rubber feet that we get on the back do a great job of holding the keyboard in place. The USB-C connection is also really great to see, and you can use any aftermarket USB-C cable you like. Mine is the aviator cable from Asceni. The RGB here looks super vibrant thanks again to that white metal backplate. It reflects a ton of light back, and you really notice it even though these keycaps aren't shine-through. I should be taking you through all the lighting effects on the keyboard right now, probably sped up a little because I hate taking up a ton of time showing off lighting effects when people usually just pick one and go with it. So yeah, enjoy. This keyboard comes with software which can be downloaded directly through Epomaker's website. I'll be sure to include a link in the description for that if you'd like to get your hands on it yourself. This software is pretty standard for OEM 60% keyboards. I think it's exactly the same as the GK61 software even. So it's really not great. A lot of the software isn't in English, not what I would call the most super friendly user experience. However, one thing that I would like to make a note of is that the keyboard does have almost all the media functions and secondary functions that you would ever need already pre-installed on the keyboard on the primary function row. This isn't something that you see on a lot of GK61s. Usually you'll have to go into the software and set that yourself, but this one has that, so this is awesome. It saves you a lot of headache of having to do that in the software, so always good to see. This keyboard really does function fine without the software. I would say that it's really not required unless you want to do any lighting modifications or if you want to program macros. Overall, this is another super solid budget 60% keyboard. I think that really the only problems I had with it was the super loud stabilizers and the not great software, which for a $65 keyboard, I'm kind of okay with. I know that I personally never really use software and I planned on modifying these stabilizers anyways, so neither one of these is really a deal breaker for me personally. I would give this keyboard a huge recommendation to anybody that's looking for a solid budget 60% keyboard. It's really that good. It looks premium, the overall experience is pretty great, and it won't break the bank either. Personally, I know that I'm going to lube the switches and modify the stabilizers to make these a lot better, and hopefully I will end up with the ultimate linear switch keyboard. I am very excited for that. If you'd like to pick one of these keyboards up for yourself, I will make sure to leave an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below. That will send a small commission my way at no extra charge to you and help fund the channel. Alright everybody, that's going to go ahead and do it for me today. Remember to hit that like button and that sub button on your way out if you enjoyed the video, and consider turning on those notifications as well so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Alright everybody, I'll see you on the next one. Peace! Oh god. I got him.